Hey guys, tonight we wash up where no one was ever meant to survive. The storm didn't just break the ship, it shattered everything you knew. One moment, you're clinging to the deck as the sky screams. The next, you're coughing up salt water on a nameless shore, the wreckage scattered like bones around you. No sails, no shouts, just the wind, just the silence. You probably won't survive this. At least, not the way you thought you would. Because this isn't a rescue story. It's about waking up every morning and choosing not to give up when the world forgets you, and the island never does. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe. But only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And hey, where are you listening from? What time is it right now for you? I love knowing who's out there, drifting off with me. Now, dim the lights. Maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum. And let's ease into tonight's journey together. The air feels thick, like it's holding its breath. You wake to the taste of salt on your lips, a sour crust that sticks to the inside of your mouth, and a pounding headache that feels like someone's pressing down on your skull with a rock. It's almost too much to process at first. The world is a jumble of sand, water, and sky. There's no time for confusion, though no time to lie there and wonder why you're not still on the ship, or why you're not with the others. Because something inside you, the part that's still holding on to whatever scraps of sanity are left, knows you have to move. The sea's breath is shallow, lapping at the shore like it's breathing in time. With your pulse, you blink, struggling to focus your eyes. Your body aches, every inch of it. Your clothes are sodden and clinging to you in ways that make your skin crawl. You try to roll over, but find that the sand under you is soft and shifting, like the ground itself is unwilling to support you. The wreck. You try to remember. Was it the storm? Was it the crash of the ship? A moment of chaos and disorientation. The taste of brine in your throat. The sound of splintering wood. And then nothing. Just this. Just the island. You push yourself up, muscles protesting every movement. The sun is too bright. Its light harsh and relentless, and you squint against it, trying to get a better sense of where you are. There's nothing to see, no shipwreck, no debris. The beach stretches in front of you, its outline blurry and shifting with the haze of the heat. It's too quiet. That's what bothers you the most. The silence. There's no hum of voices, no shouts, no cries for help. Only the sound of the waves, rhythmic and uncaring, washing over the sand. There are no signs of life, no signs of anyone else. You try to push away the knot of panic in your stomach. There has to be someone. There must be. Your fingers dig into the sand beneath you, trying to steady yourself. The grains are sharp and cold, and they feel alien against your skin. You take a deep breath, then another, steadying yourself, and then you do what comes naturally. You check your body. You look for cuts, bruises, anything that might tell you what happened. Your legs are scraped, your arms bruised, but nothing too deep. Just the kind of damage that comes from being tossed around by a storm, but you don't feel broken, not yet. You stand, unsteady, on your feet, and peer out at the horizon, hoping against reason that you'll see the sails of a ship coming toward you, or even a speck of smoke rising into the sky. But no, there's nothing, only the water stretching endlessly in all directions, dark and vast, as though it might swallow you whole if you let it. Your mind starts to race, picking up speed, like a wheel, rolling downhill. There's no one here. There's no one to help. You could be the only one left. No crew to take charge. No captain to bark orders. Nothing but you. And this island, and the ever-present roar of the sea. You swallow hard, pushing the thought aside. There's no use in panicking. Not yet. Panicking will get you nothing. You stagger toward the edge of the beach, trying to get a better view. Maybe there's something beyond the curve of the shore. Maybe if you can just get a little higher, you'll see a way out of this mess. But your legs ache with every step, and the sand shifts underfoot, making each movement feel like you're fighting against the tide itself. Still, you push forward. If you're going to survive, you need to find something, anything. You can't just stay here, a heap of broken bones and wasted time. The thought of being stuck in this desolate place, with nothing to do but wait for the waves to claim you, tightens your chest. And then, through the haze of your thoughts, you see it. A shape, just barely visible in the distance, a black speck against the horizon. At first, it's nothing more than a mirage. Your mind playing tricks on you, eager for any sign of life. But you keep watching, keep focusing, and it doesn't disappear. It stays there, stationary, unmoving. It's a wreck, the remains of a ship. A new wave of adrenaline rushes through your body, and you begin to run. You move in fits and starts, each step a struggle. But you don't stop, not when there's hope, not when the possibility of rescue is so close. The wreck grows larger as you get closer, and you see the remnants of broken timber, twisted metal, and torn sails littering the shore. You don't care that the ship is little more than a skeleton of its former self. You don't care that you don't know who or what might have been aboard. It doesn't matter. Not yet. You reach the wreckage and begin sifting through the debris, tearing at the remnants of the ship. Your fingers scrape against metal, wood, anything that might be useful. You find a few bits of cloth, tattered and soaked, but nothing useful. No food, no water, no sign of other survivors. The world is quiet again. You sink to your knees in the sand, defeated for a moment. Everything feels wrong. Every breath you take is harder than the last. Your body shakes with the exhaustion you hadn't even realized had built up. You let your head fall back, staring at the sky, trying to imagine what might have gone differently, trying to find some kind of explanation. Maybe it wasn't your fault. Maybe it was the storm, or the sea, or the stars. But the answer doesn't come. Instead, you feel the weight of your situation crash down on you. It's just you now, just you, the island, and the sea. You stand up again, forcing your mind to focus. Survival, one thing at a time. The wreck is no good. But the island has to have something. You've survived worse than this. You've been through worse storms, fought through worse odds. You turn back toward the beach, your legs like jelly beneath you, and look around. You need shelter. You need food. And you need water. The three things that might keep you alive. The first thing is obvious. You need to get out of the open. The sun beats down on you, harsh and unyielding. The open beach won't protect you from the night, and the night, you already know, will come quickly, like it always does in places like this. You start moving again, back toward the jungle, the thick line of trees that stretches like an impenetrable wall to the edge of the beach. There's something unsettling about it, as though the forest is watching you. You force yourself to take another step, another, then another. You don't know what's in that jungle, what creatures lurk there, or what the night holds. But you know one thing for sure. It's better than staying out here. The sun starts to dip lower in the sky, its golden light filtering through the leaves and casting long, thin shadows across the ground. You try not to think about how the day is slipping away, how the night is waiting just beyond the horizon. The idea of spending another night out here, alone, unsettles you. But then again, what choice do you have? The thought of going back to the beach seems as futile as sitting here hoping for a ship to pass by. That's not coming. You push yourself to your feet, feeling the weight of the day in your muscles. The stream is a small comfort, but it's not enough. You need to prepare. You can't just rely on luck or the faint hope that someone else will find you. You need to find food, a shelter, anything that can help you make it through another day. With the salt pouch still tied to your waist and your knife clutched tightly in your hand, you begin scanning the area. The stream is a good start. Water, at least, is something. But food, that's going to be a problem. You can't survive on salt and water forever. The jungle around you feels like a maze of thick, twisting roots and dense undergrowth. You spot some fruit high up in the trees. Small, red berries. But the sight of them doesn't comfort you. You don't know what's safe to eat here. One wrong bite could be your last. But then again, starving to death might be just as bad. You walk along the stream, your eyes trained on the water, searching for any signs of fish or other animals. Nothing, just the occasional ripple in the water where the current moves over a rock, but no fish, no signs of life. The emptiness of this place is starting to gnaw at you, a constant reminder that you're truly alone. There's no one here to help you, no one to guide you. You finally reach the point where the stream widens into a small pool. It's deep enough that the water doesn't flow as quickly, and for a moment, you think you might have found something, a safe spot, maybe a place to rest for the night. But as you look closer, you spot something that makes your heart sink. A trail of wet footprints leads from the water's edge, disappearing into the jungle. For a second, you stand frozen, your heart pounding in your chest. The footprints are fresh. There's no mistaking it. Someone else has been here, or something. Your mind races with the possibilities. The thought of another person on this island another human, should bring you some kind of relief, but it doesn't. Instead, it brings a new wave of panic. Who are they? What if they're dangerous? What if they're worse than the island itself? You take a cautious step forward, then another. You don't know if the tracks belong to someone or something that can help you, or if they're from something more sinister. But standing here won't get you any closer to the truth. You follow the footprints, your steps slow and deliberate, the knife in your hand. A constant reminder of the dangers that might lie ahead. As you move deeper into the jungle, you start to notice the changes in the air, the way it grows thicker and more oppressive. The trees seem to close in around you, their trunks gnarled and twisted, and the sound of your footsteps on the dirt feels like it's echoing too loudly in the stillness. After what feels like an eternity, you come to a clearing. The footprints lead here to a small patch of earth covered in fallen leaves, but there's no sign of whoever or whatever made them. The space is empty, silent. You exhale slowly, tension flooding out of your shoulders. No one's here, or maybe you think no one's left here. You kneel down, inspecting the ground more closely. The prints are fresh, still damp from the water, but there's no sign of a struggle, no indication that whatever made them has been here recently. In fact, everything about this clearing feels eerily peaceful. The wind rustles the leaves above, but there's no other sound, no animals moving through the underbrush, no voices. You let out a shaky breath. Standing up again, the emptiness of the jungle weighs heavy on you. If you're not alone here, then where did they go? And what were they doing? More questions, more uncertainty. This island is starting to feel like a maze. Each step you take leads to more dead ends, more mysteries that only make your survival seem even more uncertain. You turn away from the clearing and head back to the stream. For now, you need to focus on the essentials. Food, shelter, water, everything else can wait. The jungle will always be there, waiting for you to unravel its secrets. You find a sturdy branch just off the path, thick enough to support your weight, and start breaking it down. Your mind races with the thought of the footprints, but you push it aside. You need a fire. You need warmth. You need something to make you feel human again. The sun continues to sink lower in the sky, and the shadows grow longer. You take one last look at the empty clearing before moving on, your knife digging into the branch in your hand. You have to survive. No one else is coming. Night falls quickly on the island. The transition from day to dusk, like a switch being flipped. Moment. The jungle is bathed in golden light, and the next, it's wrapped in deep shadows, as though the sky itself has closed its eyes. You find yourself suddenly aware of how much darker the world is without the sun's presence. The colors fade, and the noises of the day birds chirping, the hum of insects, give way to an eerie, oppressive silence. It's only then that you realize how much you've been relying on the daylight to guide you, and now it's gone. The weight of the dark is immediate. You hear the crunch of your feet on the fallen leaves, the snap of twigs beneath you, but it feels as though every sound is swallowed by the thick, humid air. The wind rustles through the branches, but it's faint, as if the trees themselves are reluctant to make any noise. There are no stars tonight, just a heavy blanket of clouds stretching across the sky, making the night feel even more suffocating. You set about building a small fire. You know you should have made one earlier, during the daylight, when you had more time. But there's something about the stillness now that makes it hard to focus. You try not to think about the footsteps you saw earlier, or the strange, uneasy feeling that still lingers in your gut. You can't let fear rule you not here, not now. Fear will only drain what little energy you have left. The flint stone is damp from the earlier rain, but you try anyway. You strike it against the knife, and after several failed attempts, you see the tiniest spark, a brief flicker of life. The spark is small, but it's enough. You blow gently, coaxing the ember to life. Slowly, carefully, you gather dry leaves, twigs, and small branches, building a little pile. It's a slow process, but with each breath, you coax the flame a little higher. Finally, after what seems like an eternity, the fire catches. It's small at first, fragile and uncertain, but it grows stronger as you feed it more fuel. The orange light dances, casting long shadows on the ground around you, and for a moment, you feel a small sense of accomplishment, a reminder that you're still here, still fighting. The fire crackles as the smoke rises into the thick night air. You sit beside it, pulling your legs up to your chest for warmth. The fire is your only source of comfort now. Its light, a fragile barrier against the darkness that surrounds you. The jungle seems to press in on all sides, but for now, the fire holds it back. It's a small victory, a small comfort. You don't know how long you sit there, staring into the flames, the warmth of the fire sinking into your bones. Your mind drifts, wandering to thoughts you don't want to have, thoughts that feel too heavy for you to carry right now, thoughts of the wrecked ship, of the people you might never see again, of home, but you push them down, locking them away. You don't have the luxury of nostalgia, not here, not now. As the fire crackles and the smoke curls up to the air, you hear the first sounds of the night. Soft, strange noises from deep in the jungle. It's hard to place at first. The rustle of leaves, the distant screech of something high in the trees. But it's the silence in between that makes you uneasy. The sudden gaps where the usual nighttime creatures should be. It's as though the jungle is holding its breath, waiting. A sharp noise pierces the air, a twig snapping somewhere off in the distance. You freeze. Your heart pounds in your chest. It's nothing, just an animal, or maybe the wind. But you can't shake the feeling that something is out there, watching. You stare into the fire, your knuckles white as you grip the knife tighter in your hand. The noise doesn't come again. The jungle settles back into its eerie quiet, but you can't seem to shake the unease. Every rustle of leaves feels like it's closer, the wind carrying whispers of something just out of reach. You force yourself to stand, shaking the feeling off. You can't let yourself be paralyzed by fear. The fire is too small to be left unattended, but you need to keep moving. You can't let this island break you, at least not yet. You take the small iron knife and carve a notch into a nearby tree, marking the passing of time. Though it feels like time no longer matters here, every day blends into the next, the hours stretching endlessly ahead. The first of many marks. As you sit back down by the fire, you stare at the small blaze, wondering but what tomorrow will bring. The wind picks up again, rustling the trees, and the shadows seem to grow longer. The jungle feels like it's alive now, as though it's watching you. And in this moment, you feel something heavy settle in your chest. It's not just the night, the fire, or the isolation. It's something deeper, a question you can't answer. But for now, the fire will keep you warm, and that's enough. The night wears on. The fire now a steady, crackling presence at your side. It's become your focus, your anchor in a world that's otherwise vast and unknowable. The smoke curls into the night air, a faint, pungent reminder that you are still fighting to exist here, still searching for something to hold on to, even if that something is just the fragile flame you've managed to kindle from nothing. As the fire burns lower, you start to feel the cold seeping into your bones. The heat from the flames can only do so much, and soon the chill of the jungle night creeps in, making your muscles stiff and your breath shallow. You shift, trying to get more comfortable, but the ground is hard and uneven. It's difficult to sleep like this, with the air thick around you, and every sound amplified in the silence. The smallest noise, a branch snapping, the rustling of leaves sends your heart racing, imagining that someone or something might be creeping just beyond your vision. You force yourself to close your eyes, trying to ignore the sounds of the jungle. You can't let the fear take root. It's easy to imagine things here, in the dark, alone. But you remind yourself that the island is just that, an island. There's no one here, no one except you. The thought doesn't bring comfort, though not anymore. The isolation is beginning to weigh heavier, pulling at the edges of your mind. You try to tell yourself that this is just another night, that you've faced worse, but the thought lingers, gnawing at you, like a whisper you can't quite shake off. You shift again, more restless now, your hand instinctively going to your knife. The idea of leaving the fire unguarded, even for a moment, is too much to bear. You keep it close, a small iron piece that once might have felt like a tool, a lifeline, perhaps. But now it's become more of a symbol of your survival, of the tiny piece of control you still hold on to. The stars are beginning to break through the cloud cover, distant pinpricks of light in a sky that feels impossibly large. It's hard to focus on them, though, hard to find solace in the vastness of it all. You want to feel something, anything other than the weight of being alone. but the island remains silent, indifferent to your presence. The trees stand like ancient sentinels, their branches swaying in the breeze, as though they too are watching, waiting. Your stomach growls loudly, a reminder that you're still hungry. The thought makes your body ache with the sharp pang of need. You haven't had a real meal since you washed up here. The salt in your pouch is barely enough to stave off the hunger, and the stream hasn't provided anything worth eating so far. You think about the boar from earlier, the one you saw drinking by the water. It haunts you now, its presence lingering like an unanswered question. How long will you be able to survive without food? The fire crackles, and you watch the flames flicker and dance as if they're alive themselves. Their warmth is fading, but it's all you have for now. You need to rest. You need to conserve your energy. Tomorrow will be another struggle, another long stretch of day spent wandering through the jungle, searching for food or shelter or something. Anything that will make this place feel less hostile. You lay back, trying to make yourself comfortable on the ground, the hard earth pressing into your back. Your thoughts drift again, your mind tugged between fear and exhaustion, between the weight of your isolation and the pull of survival. The night presses in around you, thick and suffocating, but you keep your eyes open, watching the fire, listening to the sounds of the jungle. Suddenly, you hear something, a faint rustling in the brush just outside the range of the firelight. Your heart skips a beat. You freeze, your body stiffening, every muscle tensing as you grip the knife tighter. The rustling continues, a series of sharp, deliberate movements. Your mind races, and for a moment, you wonder if the footprints you found earlier belong to someone or something close by. A part of you wants to call out, to demand answers from the jungle, but you're not sure what you're dealing with. You sit up, the firelight casting an orange glow on the shadows around you. The rustling grows louder now, more distinct. Something is definitely moving, and it's moving closer. Your breath catches in your throat. Your hand tightens on the knife, the metal cold against your palm. This could be the moment. The moment when everything changes. You wait, motionless, your heart thundering in your chest. The jungle holds its breath, and then, suddenly, it stops. The rustling fades, and all is quiet again. Too quiet. Your eyes scan the darkness, but there's nothing there. No movement. Just the trees swaying gently in the wind. The shadows stretching long and eerie. You feel the tension slowly bleed from your body, replaced by a creeping unease that lingers in the pit of your stomach. What was that? What was out there? You don't know, and you probably never will. With a shaky exhale, you settle back down beside the fire, your mind spinning with questions you can't answer. The island feels different now. Darker, more alive, as though something is watching, waiting. But you can't let that stop you. You have no choice but to keep going. You can't afford to stay paralyzed by fear. You turn your attention back to the fire, its warmth offering a small comfort in this sea of uncertainty. The night stretches on, and you wait. You wait for the dawn, for the chance to search again, for whatever comes next. The night drags on, each minute feeling like an hour, each hour stretching into eternity. The fire beside you is now little more than embers, its warmth faint, but it still offers some reassurance, something to focus on. You try not to think about the silence that seems to envelop everything, but it's impossible to ignore. It's as though the island itself has swallowed every sound, leaving only the distant hum of the wind in the trees, the faint rustle of leaves moving in the breeze. The tension from earlier hasn't fully left your body. You keep glancing into the shadows, half expecting something to emerge from the dark. The jungle feels more alive than ever. Each rustle of leaves, each snap of a twig, sending a fresh jolt of anxiety through your veins. The fear that had crept in earlier remains, simmering beneath the surface. It's not just the unknown of the island. It's something more primal, the fear of being watched, of not being alone. Despite all of that, exhaustion is starting to drag you under. Your eyelids feel heavy, your body stiff and aching from the cold and the ground beneath you. You try to push through it, telling yourself that you can't afford to rest yet. Not like this. But the weight of the day, the cold of the night, and the gnawing hunger that refuses to go away are all too much. You lay back, your eyes fluttering shut for just a moment. The thought of sleep, of finally escaping the endless tension, feels almost like a luxury. But you know, you can't afford to get too comfortable. Not yet. You need to stay alert, need to keep watch. The seconds stretch into minutes, the minutes into hours. Somewhere in the distance, you hear the unmistakable call of a bird, a sharp, high-pitched cry that echoes through the jungle. It's followed by a brief silence before another bird answers from somewhere far off. You listen, trying to remember the sounds of the jungle, the way the animals communicate, the rhythm of the night. But it's difficult to focus when your mind is so scattered, so worn thin. A distant rumble of thunder rolls through the sky, and you feel the temperature drop suddenly, the air thick with moisture. Another storm is coming. You can feel it in the weight of the air, the oppressive stillness that blankets everything. The wind picks up, and you instinctively reach for your knife again, tightening your grip on it. Not that it will do you much good against a storm, but it feels like the right thing to do, something to hold on to. The fire is dying now, and you know you need to make a decision. You can stay here, hoping the storm passes without much incident, or you can try to find shelter, something more substantial than the flimsy cover of the trees and the half-built lean-to you had constructed earlier. You hesitate, torn between the need for rest and the instinct to keep moving, to keep searching for a better place. With a resigned sigh, you decide to move. The jungle, already shrouded in darkness, feels even more overwhelming now that the storm is on its way. You rise stiffly, your body protesting the movement. Every part of you aches, but you push through. You can't afford to stay exposed. You can't afford to let the island win. You grab your small, wet flint and knife and head deeper into the jungle, using the last of your strength to navigate through the thick foliage. The wind picks up even more, rustling the branches overhead, but it doesn't bring rain, at least not yet. Still, you move quickly, your footfalls muffled by the dense undergrowth, and your senses stretched taut, listening for the sounds of anything dangerous. It's hard to tell where you're going. The jungle feels like an endless labyrinth, the trees and bushes blending into one indistinct mass. Every direction seems the same, every step leading to another patch of shadow. You can't help but feel lost, more than physically lost, but emotionally. The isolation is beginning to creep deeper into your bones, your thoughts turning inward as your environment becomes more alien and hostile. Every time you think you're making progress, you turn a corner only to find more of the same. The storm clouds overhead darken the sky even more, casting the jungle in near complete shadow. The wind howls, pushing branches and vines to sway in strange patterns. There's an unsettling quality to the way the trees bend in the gusts, like they're moving on their own accord, like they're alive. A distant rumble shakes the ground beneath your feet, and suddenly the first droplets of rain begin to fall. They come slow at first, fat and heavy, but then they begin to fall in a steady rhythm, tapping against the leaves, the ground, your skin. The rain quickly becomes a downpour, a torrent that soaks you to the bone in minutes. The humidity rises, but the cold remains, the wetness sinking into your clothes, your body, your very bones. You push on, moving faster now, desperate to find shelter before the storm fully hits. You stumble through the jungle, ignoring the scratches on your arms, the sting of the rain, the heavy thud of your heart in your chest. The sound of the storm fills your ears, the rain drowning out everything else, even the jungle itself. The only sound left is the rush of water, the crashing wind, and your own frantic breathing. Then you see it, a shadow through the rain, a dark shape ahead. You move towards it instinctively, your heart lifting with the thought of shelter, of something solid, something real. It's a cave. You don't hesitate. You sprint toward it, your feet slipping in the mud, your legs burning with effort. The entrance is small, but wide enough for you to squeeze through. The rain pelts down in torrents behind you, but you're safe now, sheltered from the storm. You take a deep breath, your chest heaving as you lean against the cave wall, soaked to the bone. The sound of the storm continues outside, but it feels distant now, muffled by the thick stone. For the first time in what feels like days, you let yourself relax, even if just for a moment. You don't know if this cave will be enough, but it's the closest thing to safety you've had in a while. The storm rages outside, but inside the cave, there's only a strange, eerie silence that presses in on you. You sit with your back against the cold stone, your clothes soaked through, your muscles sore from the exertion of running through the jungle. The dampness clings to your skin, but for the first time since the storm began, you're sheltered. There's no wind, no rain, just the dull sound of water dripping from the cave walls, pooling in the shallow floor. Your hands are still clenched around your knife, the familiar weight of it, a small comfort, a talisman against the overwhelming chaos outside. The fire, now extinguished, feels like a distant memory. You try to remind yourself that there's no need for it here. The stone will keep you safe from the elements. You'll survive the night. You have to. But that thought, as reassuring as it may be, does little to calm the rising anxiety in your chest. The silence in the cave presses down on you, and your mind races with questions you can't answer. What if this is just another illusion of safety? What if the storm is the least of your worries? The wind howls outside, but here it feels quieter, like the world has slowed down, almost as if time itself is holding its breath. You stand slowly, your legs stiff from sitting for too long. Every movement aches, but you force yourself to stretch, to keep moving, even if only for a moment. The cave feels small, too small, and the walls, cold and unyielding, seem to close in around you. You want to leave. You want to go back to the fire, to the space where you could feel the warmth, the promise that things might get better. But you know you can't. You have to stay here, at least for tonight. The storm outside intensifies, the rain pounding down with an almost violent fury. You listen, counting the seconds between the crashes of thunder. Each one shakes the ground, rattles the cave, and sends a cold shiver up your spine. The sheer power of nature, of the storm outside, feels overwhelming, but at least you tell yourself you're here, safe, here in this cave. But the peace is fleeting. Your mind, never content to remain idle for long, starts to wander. You think about the island, the way it stretches out around you, an endless expanse of trees, water, and wildness. The feeling of isolation presses on you again, the weight of the loneliness you've been carrying since you first washed up here. The island isn't just a place, it's a test you don't know if you can pass. You find yourself pacing, moving around the cave as if the act of walking might help silence your thoughts. The walls are rough and uneven, and you run your fingers along the surface, feeling the dampness seep through the cracks. Every small movement, every touch, every creak of the cave's natural structure reminds you of how far you've fallen from the life you once knew. A sound cuts through the stillness, sharp and sudden. You freeze, your heart leaping into your throat. Was it a footstep? A rustle in the leaves? You strain your ears, trying to make sense of the noise, but the storm is so loud that it drowns everything else out. Your grip tightens on the knife, the only weapon you have, the only thing that might give you some semblance of control over this madness. You listen intently, but there's nothing. The sound, whatever it was, is gone. You stand motionless, trying to catch your breath, but the noise doesn't come back. For a moment, you wonder if you imagined it, if your mind is just playing tricks on you. In this strange, claustrophobic space, the storm continues outside, relentless in its fury. But here in the cave, things feel different. The air feels cooler, and the silence, though punctuated by the occasional drip of water, is almost unnerving. You realize, perhaps for the first time, how small and vulnerable you really are here. You don't know the island, don't understand its rhythms, and though you've made it this far, you wonder how long that will last. How much longer will the island allow you to survive? You press your back against the cold stone, sinking down to the floor, the weight of it all settling over you like a heavy cloak. The jungle is an enemy that never stops watching, never stops testing you. You've heard it in the sounds, seen it in the shapes that lurk at the edges of your vision. The trees are alive, and they hold their secrets, their shadows, just out of reach. But for now, you're here, safe within these walls. For whatever fleeting moment that is worth, you close your eyes and try to breathe. Slow, deep, in and out. The storm outside is a reminder that the world is out of your control. The best you can do is hold on and wait. Wait for the dawn. Wait for the next step, for the next challenge. The island will throw at you. There is no escaping it. No escape from the island. No escape from yourself. All you can do is survive. And so, you sit, your hands resting in your lap, your mind wandering, until eventually sleep pulls you under, wrapping you in its dark, heavy embrace. The morning comes slowly, and when it finally does, it's more of a gradual easing than a sharp arrival. The rain has stopped, but the sky remains overcast, heavy with the remnants of the storm. A thick mist clings to the trees outside, blurring the line between earth and sky, turning the world into an indistinct shade of gray. The cave is cold, the dampness still hanging in the air. The warmth you remember from the nightscape is a memory now, distant and fleeting, as though it never really existed. You don't know how long you've slept. Hours, a few minutes. It's impossible to say. The only thing you know for sure is that you're still here, still breathing, still alive. Your body aches in new ways. Muscles stiff and sore from the hard ground beneath you. Your stomach growls, but there's little to ease the hunger. There are no immediate solutions, no easy answers. You can't escape it. Not here, not on this island. With a deep breath, you force yourself to stand. Every movement is slow, deliberate, as you rise to your feet, stretching your limbs to shake off the lingering stiffness. The dampness of your clothes is unbearable, sticking to your skin, but there's nothing to do about it. There's no time for comfort here. You need to move. You need to figure out what's next. The rain outside may have stopped, but the air is thick with moisture, and the humidity is nearly suffocating. It feels like the jungle itself is pressing in on you, closing in with every breath you take. You step out of the cave cautiously, squinting against the muted light. The world outside is different now. The storm has stripped away any sense of clarity, leaving only an eerie stillness. The forest is still, but you can feel it. Like something is watching you. The trees loom like sentinels, their twisted branches forming strange shapes in the mist. The silence is unsettling, but you know you can't stay in the cave forever. You check your inventory, what's left of it. The knife is still there, the only real tool you have, worn and dull from use. The pouch of salt, small as it is, still clinks with something inside. The piece of dry leather is crumpled in your hand, but it hasn't dried out completely. You know you'll need to make use of everything, even if it's just a tiny part of what you need. Your mind starts to turn, plotting out your next steps. You need water reel, fresh water, not the rainwater you've been drinking, which is less than ideal. But where can you find it? The island's landscape offers few obvious answers. The forest, while dense and alive, is largely uncharted in your mind. You have no way of knowing what's hidden deeper in its heart. Your thoughts are interrupted by the sound of movement, a snap of a twig, the rustle of leaves. It's coming from ahead, maybe to your left, maybe right. You freeze, every muscle tensing. Was it an animal? Something more dangerous? You can't afford to take chances. You reach for your knife, tightening your grip around the handle. For a moment, everything is still. You listen intently, your senses sharpening, but the jungle holds its breath. And then, in the distance, the unmistakable sound of something large moving through the undergrowth. A branch snaps in two, followed by a rustle. You hold your breath, waiting, but nothing emerges from the mist. It's strange. The sound is not quite an animal, but not quite human either. It's something in between, a trick of the wind, or something else. You can't say for sure. You decide to move forward, cautiously, putting distance between yourself and the noise. The jungle seems to shift with every step you take. The trees bend in odd ways, their gnarled roots twisting like veins beneath the earth. There's a heaviness to the air now, the remnants of the storm weighing down on everything. You know you should be looking for food or water, but your instincts pull you in a different direction. You have to know what that noise was. It could be important, could be a sign. The mist grows thicker the deeper you go, and soon you're enveloped in an almost complete fog, the world becoming a blur of gray and green. The path is uneven, full of hidden roots that snag at your feet. Every so often, you stop, listening for the sound, but it seems to have faded. Just a whisper in the distance. Still, you move forward. And then, just as you start to wonder if you've imagined the whole thing, you see something, a shape. It's large, hulking even, but it's still too far away to make out clearly. You crouch low, trying to hide behind a nearby tree, your heart pounding in your chest. You know you're close to something, but what? The shape moves again, and this time, it's clearer. It's not an animal. It's something else. A figure, human, or something resembling it, moving slowly through the mist. You can't make out any details. They're just a shadow, lost in the fog. You hold your breath, unsure of whether to approach or retreat. For a moment, you stand frozen, unsure of what to do. Your instincts scream at you to stay hidden, to keep your distance. But curiosity gnaws at you, the need to know, to understand what you're dealing with on this island. The figure doesn't seem to notice you, moving with a slow, deliberate pace, and you begin to wonder if it's someone else stranded here, just like you. You stay still, watching them for what feels like an eternity. Every muscle in your body is taut, ready to flee at the first sign of danger. But as you continue to watch, the figure slowly disappears into the mist, swallowed whole by the fog. They are gone. Just like that, your heart still racing. You take a slow step back, your mind reeling. What was that? Who were they? You have no answers, only more questions. You've learned one thing, though. This island holds more mysteries than you could have imagined. And for now, that is more unsettling than anything else. The encounter lingers in your mind, clinging to you, like the dampness in your clothes. Your heart pounds in your chest, the image of the figure fading from your memory, but not from your thoughts. The mist, thick and suffocating, feels alive around you, each breath heavier than the last. The silence that follows is deafening. Every rustle of the leaves, every creak of the trees seems to carry the weight of something unseen, something just out of reach. But you have no choice but to keep moving. The island is vast and wild, and you have yet to understand even a fraction of it. The figure you saw, whoever or whatever it was, only adds to the questions swirling in your mind. If there are others on the island, you have no idea whether they are friendly, dangerous, or simply trying to survive like you. For now, though, there's no use dwelling on it. You have your own survival to worry about. You press on through the dense forest, the ground uneven beneath your feet. The roots of the trees snake out like fingers, eager to trip you up, and the humidity clings to your skin, making every movement feel sluggish. The fog seems to follow you, moving in thick tendrils, blocking your vision and making it harder to navigate. But you keep going, each step driven by the nagging feeling that you need to find something, anything that will help you make sense of this place. The forest seems to close in around you, the trees growing taller, their trunks wider, their branches more gnarled and twisted. The path ahead becomes less defined, the earth soft and uneven. You step carefully, your eyes scanning the ground for any signs of danger. But the more you look, the more the world seems to blur around you. It's as if the jungle itself is conspiring to disorient you, to lead you deeper into its heart. And then you hear it again, that sound, the rustling. This time, it's closer, more distinct, like something moving through the brush with purpose. You freeze, your body tensing in anticipation. You reach for your knife again, your fingers curling around the handle, your senses on high alert. The sound is unmistakable now, like someone or something moving through the underbrush in a steady rhythm. You wait, listening, and then the shape emerges from the mist once more. It's not a person, it's larger, bulkier, covered in thick fur that blends with the shadows. The creature is a beast, its movements slow and deliberate, like it's unbothered by your presence. It's a wild boar, massive, with tusks that gleam in the dim light. You've seen it before, glimpsed it from a distance as it drank from the stream. Now, it's closer, almost too close, your heart skips a beat. This is it, the animal that has been haunting your thoughts, the one you've been tracking for days, waiting for the right moment. It's here, but there's no time to hesitate. The boar is not your enemy, but it represents something more. It's a chance to eat, to survive, to take back some control in this chaotic world. You can't afford to let it slip away. Your mind races. You're unarmed, except for the small knife in your hand, and even that seems inadequate compared to the creature before you. But you've been alive this long, and that means something. You've learned to adapt. You've learned to be patient. And right now, patience is your most valuable asset. You watch the boar closely, waiting for the right moment. It's focused on something ahead, oblivious to your presence. You can feel the tension in the air, the weight of the decision pressing on you. You can't wait any longer. You've waited too long already. Taking a deep breath, you step forward, moving slowly, carefully, your eyes never leaving the boar. Every muscle in your body is wound tight, ready for whatever comes next. You close the distance, one footstep at a time, until the gap between you and the animal is just a few yards. The boar doesn't notice you at first, but then it sniffs the air, its head turning sharply. It senses something. Its ears twitch, its eyes narrow, and in that instant, you freeze, holding your breath. The moment stretches, the tension palpable, the air thick with anticipation, and then, just as quickly, the boar lowers its head, returning to whatever it was doing before, allowing you to take another slow step forward. Your knife feels heavier in your hand now, the weight of it, a reminder of the danger you're facing. You're close, so close, but there's still a long way to go. You can't afford to fail now. This might be your only chance. The boar is distracted again, and you move. Your steps are quick, purposeful, but still quiet. You need to get close enough to make the strike count, to make the shot. But the closer you get, the more you can feel your body shaking, the exhaustion creeping in from all sides. Your hands are slick with sweat, your heart beating faster with each step you take. But just as you think you're within range, the boar suddenly jerks its head up again, its eyes locking onto yours. The wildness in its gaze is unmistakable. It's not afraid. It's not backing down. It's challenging you. You stop in your tracks, your body frozen in place. The knife feels insignificant now, a tool that won't help you in the face of this creature. The boar snorts loudly, a challenge, a warning. You realize this is no simple hunt. This is survival, and the island is not going to make it easy for you. You take a slow step back, your grip tightening on your knife, but the boar doesn't follow. It doesn't move, just watches you, as if waiting for you to make the next move. The tension lingers in the air, thick and uncomfortable. But you know, there's no room for hesitation now. You turn and walk away, your eyes never leaving the boar's. There will be another day, another chance. The distance between you and the boar stretches until it feels like an eternity. Each step you take away from it is a heavy one, filled with a sense of defeat that clings to your skin. like the wetness of the morning. Your muscles ache. Your mind is foggy from hunger and exhaustion. But you know one thing for sure. There will be no second chances if you stay here too long. The jungle begins to press in around you again. It's strange how the forest feels alive, almost as though it's watching you, waiting for you to make your next mistake. The leaves shiver as the wind cuts through, making strange, creaking sounds, like the jungle itself is whispering to you, or perhaps laughing at your misfortune. Everything feels muted, like the world has been swallowed whole by the fog, and all that's left is the silence of the island. You need food. It's as simple as that. You thought the boar might be your salvation, but now you're back to square one. The hunger gnaws at your insides, the pangs sharp and relentless. You can't afford to waste any more time. The jungle offers little in the way of obvious sustenance, and you haven't yet figured out what's safe to eat and what will kill you. You've learned a few things the hard way already. The mushrooms, for example, that made your stomach rebel. But beyond that, you're still guessing. The salt in your pouch feels like an anchor in your pocket. It's something small, something simple, but it's also something that could save your life, whether it's used to preserve food, flavor, what little you catch, or trade with someone else. If you ever find anyone, the thought of meeting another person is both a comfort and a fear. You don't know if you're ready to face another soul yet. The solitude is overwhelming at times, but you've come to accept it as the price of survival. As you wander deeper into the forest, you're struck by the contrast between the serenity of the place and the tension that weighs on your chest. The trees are beautiful, tall and sturdy, their trunks thick with age, their branches heavy with vines and leaves. But beneath the beauty, there's something ominous, a sense of danger that you can't quite place. It's the way the forest closes in on itself, the way the shadows grow longer. Even as the day slips forward, you stop at the base of one of the trees and sit down, leaning against the rough bark for support. The forest is still around you, but the silence is no longer comforting. It's oppressive, as though the jungle itself is holding its breath, waiting for something. For what? You don't know. Maybe it's waiting for you to break. Your thoughts wander, and as they do, you find yourself wondering about the people you left behind. How long has it been since the storm? It's hard to tell. The days blur together, and the nights stretch on without end. It's almost as though time has stopped entirely. Or maybe it's just that you've stopped caring. You were a blacksmith, once a craftsman, with a simple life and simple dreams. But now, all you have is the next moment. All you can focus on is the survival of it. You are nothing more than a shadow in the jungle, a part of the island, its rhythms and patterns. You don't know how long you sit there, just resting, breathing in the damp, heavy air. But eventually, your thoughts turn back to the task at hand. You need to find food. That much is clear, and you need to be smart about it. There's no clear path ahead, no obvious sign of where to go. But your instincts tell you to head toward the stream you saw earlier. You remember its clear water, the slight gleam of it in the morning light. It's a place where animals gather, and it could be your best shot at finding food. You need to be patient, though there's no rush. The jungle won't be going anywhere, and neither will you, at least not today. The ground beneath you shifts as you rise to your feet, and for a moment, you wonder if you've made the right decision. But it's too late to turn back now. There's no time to waste. The hunger inside you is too much to ignore, and maybe, just maybe, you'll find something better than mushrooms this time. You walk slowly, your steps deliberate, each one calculated. The air is thick with moisture, the scent of earth and rotting leaves heavy in your nose. The humidity clings to you, making each movement feel sluggish, draining your energy with every breath you take. But you keep moving, because what else is there to do? To stop is to surrender. To stop is to die. As you approach the stream, the sound of water rushing over rocks grows louder. It's a soothing sound, familiar, like a lullaby in the chaos of this island. You can't help but feel a small sense of relief as you reach the bank, the water cool and clear as it flows past you. There's something almost sacred about it. You kneel down beside it, cupping your hands to drink deeply, the cool liquid refreshing your parched throat. It doesn't erase the hunger, but it's a start. But then, as you drink, you notice something in the water. It's small, just a flicker of movement beneath the surface, but it's enough to catch your attention. You pause, your eyes narrowing, watching closely. Something is swimming there, something that could be food. You don't know what it is, but the fact that it's moving in the water is enough to give you hope. This might be the break you've been waiting for. With a sharp breath, you gather your thoughts and prepare to act. There's no room for hesitation, no time to wonder if you're making the right decision. You've learned that the island doesn't wait. It doesn't care if you're ready. It simply takes, and it's up to you to fight back. You watch the water intently, your breath slow and measured, every muscle in your body coiled with anticipation. The current is swift, and the ripples on the surface make it difficult to see clearly. But you know there's something there, something alive. Your eyes lock onto the subtle movements beneath the surface. The glint of a fin, a flash of skulls. Without thinking, you reach for a nearby branch, its rough bark scraping against your hand as you grip it tightly. It's not much, but it's something. You can't afford to be picky. The makeshift spear feels awkward in your hands, but it's better than nothing. You wait for a moment longer, watching the shifting water, trying to predict the movement of whatever is swimming below. Then, just as you think you've spotted its location, you thrust the branch into the stream, hoping to make contact. The water swirls around it, but when you pull it back, you find nothing. The creature is faster than you anticipated, slipping out of reach before you had a chance to react. Your heart sinks. You thought you had it, just for a moment. You thought you might have found something worthwhile, but the water is still, and the sound of it rushing over the rocks seems to mock you now, the stream indifferent to your efforts. You try again, this time more carefully. You move your spear through the water in slow, deliberate motions, each one a calculated risk. The creature is fast, but you're determined. This island has already taken so much from you, but you won't let it take your will to survive. For what feels like an eternity, you repeat the process, your body growing more tired with each attempt. But then, just as the weight of exhaustion is beginning to set in, you feel it, a brief tug, a shift in the water that tells you something has taken the bait. Your heart leaps in your chest. Quickly, you pull the spear back with all your might, the force causing water to splash violently in every direction. You hold your breath as you draw it up, your pulse thundering in your ears, praying you haven't missed again. And then you see it, a fish small, but still alive, its scales glistening in the dim light. It struggles against the end of your makeshift spear, but it's no match for your grip. You've caught it. You don't even take a moment to celebrate. You can't. There's no time for that. The fish is small, but it's enough to ease the hunger gnawing at your stomach. Slowly, carefully, you bring it to the shore and start to remove it from the spear. Your hands are shaking, but you manage. The fish is cold and slippery, but it's food, and that's all that matters. Right now, as you begin to think about how to cook it, the reality of the situation sets in. You're alone. You're out here in this vast, wild jungle, and all you have is this small fish and whatever you can make of it. There are no guarantees, no promises that tomorrow will be any better than today. But for now, you've succeeded. You've done something. That's something to hold on to. The next task is finding a place to cook it. You've seen the remnants of a fire pit near the base of a large tree earlier, but whether or not it's usable is another matter. The last time you tried to start a fire, it had taken hours and left you shivering in the cold night air with nothing to show for it. But the fish is too valuable to waste, and you're too hungry to be picky. You gather what few dry leaves you can find and make your way to the fire pit. Your pace slow but steady. The fog still lingers, hanging heavily in the air, but you don't let it distract you. You've learned how to focus despite the distractions. The jungle, the elements, the hunger, they are all a part of the challenge. When you reach the fire pit, you kneel down and begin to inspect it. The area is littered with ash, the remnants of previous attempts at fire making. Some logs are partially charred, while others are wet and useless. You gather the driest wood you can find and set to work, feeling the frustration build as the smoke rises in a thick cloud, stinging your eyes and throat. You're used to the process now, though the rituals of survival, it's become second nature, even if every part of it feels like an uphill battle. You try for a long while, and eventually, after what seems like an eternity of failed attempts, the flame catches. It's small at first, just a flicker of light in the dense fog, but it's enough. It's enough to cook the fish, enough to bring some warmth back into your bones. The fire grows, feeding off the dry kindling and wood you've gathered, the heat crackling as it pushes against the dampness of the island. The smoke rises in the air, twisting and curling like the ghosts of the past. As the fish cooks, you sit back, allowing yourself a brief moment of respite. Your muscles ache from the exertion of the hunt and the effort of starting the fire, but there's a small sense of satisfaction in the air. It's not much, but it's a victory in a world that's been nothing but struggle and survival. You'll take every victory you can get. When the fish is finally ready, you pick it from the fire, the meat tender and flaky, its smell filling the air. You take the first bite cautiously, the warmth of the fish spreading through your body, giving you a fleeting sense of comfort. It's not enough to fill you completely, but it's better than nothing. And right now, that's all you can ask for. The sun is setting, the sky shifting from a dull gray to a darker hue, and you can feel the weight of the day pressing in on you. You know that you'll have to sleep soon. The exhaustion is catching up with you, your body aching and your mind foggy. But for now, you allow yourself to enjoy the brief respite the fish has given you. The fire crackles, and you lean back against the tree, the warmth of the flames mixing with the coolness of the air around you. And as you sit there, surrounded by the silent, watchful jungle, you can't help but wonder, what's next? What will tomorrow bring? You know the answer. Of course, it will bring more survival, more struggle. But for tonight, you have something to hold on to, a small, hard-earned victory that will carry you into the darkness. The fire continues to crackle, sending bursts of light through the dense shadows of the jungle. The sound is strangely comforting, like a heartbeat in the otherwise silent night. You sit, your back against the tree, a few small pieces of the fish still left on the makeshift plate you've formed from a flat rock. Your stomach, though no longer painfully empty, still groans for more. But there's no more to give. The fish was small, but it'll have to last. The night deepens around you, and the air grows cooler. The jungle comes alive with its usual chorus, the distant calls of birds, the rustle of unseen animals in the underbrush, the hum of insects flitting through the dark. The sounds seem far away, like the whispers of another world, but they bring no peace tonight. The stillness between those sounds is too much. The jungle is vast, oppressive, and you feel every inch of it. You stare into the fire for a while, the orange flames dancing like a living thing. There's a part of you that finds solace in it, the way it fights back against the creeping cold, the dampness of the island's grip on your bones. But another part of you remains anxious, alert, the awareness that you're not truly safe, ever present. With the fire now burning steadily, you know it's time to settle in for the night. The darkness here seems more than just the absence of light. It's the silence that drapes over everything, thick and heavy, like a shroud. Even as your eyes begin to grow heavy with exhaustion, you fight the pull of sleep. You can't afford to sleep too deeply. Not here, not yet. There's still the boar, lingering at the back of your mind, like a dark shadow. The idea of tracking it again feels both impossible and necessary. You know it's still out there, probably watching you, waiting. You've seen its tracks, its heavy, cloven hoof prints in the mud near the stream. And you know it's close, but the thought of facing it again is daunting. The failure from earlier still stings. You shake the thought from your mind and turn your attention back to the fire. The crackling and hissing sounds of burning wood are comforting now, and for a moment, you allow yourself to relax just enough to close your eyes and let the exhaustion take over. Your eyelids feel heavy, and the rhythm of the jungle seems to lull you toward a fragile sleep. But sleep doesn't come easily. Every little sound from the jungle seems to pierce the stillness, setting your nerves on edge. You hear the occasional snap of a twig or a rustle in the brush, but you know, it's just the forest, just the jungle, and yet each sound seems like an intrusion, something to fear, something to watch for in the dark. You try to ignore it, to shut it out, but it's hard to focus. The fire offers little protection from the overwhelming isolation you feel. Out here, it's just you and the wild world that surrounds you, and the feeling of being watched never quite fades. You sit up straighter, your back stiff against the trunk of the tree. You can't remember the last time you've truly felt safe. There have been brief moments, small victories, like the fish, like the fire, but they feel fragile. The island has a way of stripping away that sense of security. It has a way of reminding you just how insignificant you are in the grand scheme of things. Another night, another long stretch of uncertainty. The fire flickers as the last of the wood burns down, and the embers glow faintly in the darkness. The air is cooler now, the stillness even more pronounced. You reach to grab the remaining pieces of fish, picking at them absent-mindedly, not bothering to savor the taste. It's sustenance, nothing more. You finish eating, your stomach still not fully satisfied, but quiet for now. The silence that follows feels heavier, pressing against you, like the weight of the island itself. The air seems denser, thicker, as if it's closing in on you. Your thoughts become disjointed, racing without direction, each one leading to another, feeding off your anxiety. The isolation is all-consuming, and you wonder for a moment if this is it, if this is how the story ends, alone in the jungle, with no one to share your thoughts, no one to hear your voice. But then you hear it. It's distant at first, just a low hum in the air, like the wind, but then it rises, becoming something more. The unmistakable sound of drums. At first, you think it's your mind playing tricks on you, conjuring up the sounds of a world that no longer exists. But then it comes again, closer this time. The deep, rhythmic thrum of drums, carried on the wind, sending a chill down your spine. Your breath catches in your throat, and your body tenses, every muscle alert. The boar, the hunt, it all feels so far away now. The sound of the drums fills the space around you, overwhelming the other noises of the jungle. The drums are unmistakable, and they are too regular, too deliberate to be an animal. Someone else is out there, someone who has made their presence known. You freeze, listening, trying to make sense of what's happening. The drums grow louder, each beat hammering through your chest, each one pulling you deeper into the realization that you're not alone, not anymore. Your heart races, but you stay still, your eyes scanning the dark jungle, trying to make sense of the shadows. It's a feeling you can't shake. The island is alive, and it's watching. Whatever comes next is out of your control. The drums continue, a steady rhythm in the dark. You don't know what they mean, but one thing is certain. You've crossed a line. You've ventured deeper into the unknown, and you can't go back now. The rhythmic pounding of the drums drifts through the air, vibrating your chest, sending a cold shiver down your spine. For a moment, you're frozen, unable to move, unsure of what to do. The sound is undeniable, primitive, strong, purposeful. It comes from deeper within the jungle, a place you've only ventured near in passing. You don't know who's making the noise, but it's clear that whoever they are, they've set their sights on something. Your thoughts race, and your instincts scream at you to run, to flee into the deeper recesses of the island, but there's nowhere to go. The jungle is vast, and the territory you've covered is small. If you move, you'll only expose yourself further. They'll find you, just like the animals in the forest would find you. If you were to make a sound too loud, you grip the rough bark of the tree beside you, your fingers digging into the wood as you force yourself to remain still. You can't be sure if the drums are getting closer or if the jungle is simply amplifying the noise. The wind, unpredictable as ever, carries the sound in every direction, making it impossible to tell where the drummers are positioned. The silence between each drumbeat feels like a heavy weight pressing down on you. With every passing second, you swallow hard, trying to force your body to remain calm. Panic threatens to rise, but you won't let it. Panic won't help. Not here. Not in this vast, relentless place. Another beat. This time, louder. The sound pulses through the air, setting your teeth on edge. There's no mistaking it. Now, the drums are closer. You have no idea how many are out there or what they want. But the only thing that matters right now is staying hidden. You take a slow, deliberate breath, closing your eyes for a moment. The jungle is full of dangers, unknown creatures, the relentless elements, the creeping isolation. But this new presence is different. There's a human element to it. People. There are people out there. The possibility, the terrifying prospect, makes your stomach churn. You have no idea who they are, or if they'll see you as a threat. But something tells you that they might. The uncertainty gnaws at you, making the blood in your veins feel like ice. You know you're not equipped for a confrontation. Not here. Not now. The fire behind you crackles, the only sound that provides any semblance of safety. But it also marks your location. You should have put it out earlier, but you didn't. The warmth, the flicker of light. It's been a comfort, a small token of control in this wild, uncaring place. But now it feels like a beacon, a signal that you might regret later. The drums continue, and you feel the weight of their sound settle into your bones. The steady rhythm thumps, louder now, each beat like a warning. It's too late to hide the fire, too late to blend into the shadows. You might have to face them. You try to recall every step you've taken since you washed up on this island. Every place you've been. The stream, the forest, the cave, the paths that have led you this far. None of them feel safe anymore. You've come too close to something you don't understand. And there's no going back now. You stand up slowly, carefully, not wanting to make a sound. Your breath is shallow as you try to make your way toward the edge of the firelight, moving like a shadow, keeping the flickering flames behind you. You want to be a ghost, silent, invisible as you move. Your heart pounds in your ears, drowning out the surrounding noises of the jungle. Every snap of a twig, every rustle of leaves seems magnified in your heightened state of awareness. Every step feels like it could be your last. The drums get louder still. Their rhythm begins to take on a frenetic energy, an urgency that makes your pulse race in time with the beats. You know they're close now. You know they can hear you. If you make a sound, you hold your breath, willing yourself to be still, to fade into the earth itself. There's no telling what you'll find. Whoever they are, wherever they are, they don't belong here. Or maybe they do. Maybe this island isn't as abandoned as it seems. The thought unsettles you more than you care to admit. But what else can you do? You can't ignore it. You can't hide forever. A new sound cuts through the jungle. A shout. A voice raised in a language you don't understand. It's harsh, sharp, and sends a jolt through your body. Panic flares up in your chest again, but you fight it back. You can't be seen. You can't be heard. You crouch low to the ground, moving with a quiet precision that's become second nature to you. The fire is a distant glow now, barely visible through the dense underbrush, but its warmth is still close enough to remind you that it's there, marking your spot. You wonder briefly if it's wise to put it out, if that would be the thing to keep you hidden, but you don't want to lose the only source of light and heat you have. Not yet. Another shout, closer this time, and the drums grow louder, quicker. There's no mistaking it anymore. Someone's out there. Someone's coming. Your instincts scream at you to run, to flee deeper into the jungle. But your feet remain rooted to the ground. You can't move. You can't afford to make a sound. And yet, the more you try to remain still, the more your mind races, and the louder the thrum of the drums becomes. You're caught between fear and curiosity, between survival and something darker, something you can't quite place. You try to steady your breathing, but it's hard. It's hard to focus on anything other than the pounding in your chest, the feeling of being on the edge of discovery, of exposure, as you crouch in the dark, waiting for the next move. You realize one undeniable truth. This island is not as empty as it seems. The jungle grows thicker, the air heavier with each passing minute. Your senses are on high alert. Every slight noise magnified. Every rustle of leaves a potential threat. The beating drums persist, louder now, more erratic, Each thud a reminder of the people who are getting closer. You can feel the ground beneath you, shifting, unstable, in the dark. But you dare not move. Every breath you take feels too loud in the oppressive silence around you. The voices from deeper within the jungle grow clearer, though still indistinct. It's not just one voice, but many chattering, yelling, calling to one another in a language that doesn't belong here, a language you can't even begin to comprehend. The sounds are harsh, guttural, filled with urgency. There's no mistaking it now. They're getting closer. They're coming toward you. Your heart hammers in your chest, and a thin layer of sweat breaks out on your skin. You force yourself to keep breathing, steady and deep, even though every fiber of your being wants to bolt, to run away into the jungle. But where would you go? The island is vast, and the forest is dense. You know these people are better equipped to survive here than you. They've lived in this environment far longer than you have. If you run, you might just lead them straight to your hiding spot. The drums are closer now, a constant beat that echoes through the trees, through your mind, hammering a steady rhythm of dread into your bones. Your eyes flicker back to the small fire you left behind. You can still see it in the distance, the orange glow peeking through the leaves. It would take only a few minutes to reach it, but the thought of getting caught in the open terrifies you. You could try to put it out, but it might be too late. You hold your breath, listening. A new noise cuts through the air. Footsteps, heavy ones. They crunch through the underbrush, slow and deliberate, moving in your direction. The rhythm of the drums shifts. They stop for a moment, only to start again, as if urging the footsteps to pick up the pace. You don't move. You can't afford to make a sound. The jungle seems to close in around you, the shadows twisting and stretching in the dim light. You feel like a mouse trapped in a corner, heart pounding, waiting for the predator to strike. The tension is unbearable, like a thick rope slowly tightening around your chest, threatening to choke you. You fight against the rising panic, forcing yourself to remain calm, to hold on to the stillness. The footsteps stop. There's a long pause, utter silence, before a voice calls out again, a sharp, barking command. You don't understand the words, but the tone is clear. Authority, power. These are not people who will let you slip away unnoticed. Your eyes scan the surroundings, looking for any escape, any way out. The trees are thick here, and the underbrush is tangled with vines, but they'll know these woods better than you ever will. You can't outrun them, and you certainly can't outsmart them. The realization hits hard. You press yourself lower into the earth, the cold ground seeping into your skin. Your heartbeat rings in your ears, drowning out the rest of the world for a moment. As you fight to stay still, every muscle in your body tenses, every nerve firing with fear. You close your eyes briefly, trying to block out the growing noise, the impending confrontation. You know they'll find you soon, whether you're ready or not. The voices grow closer, the language rising in volume, getting sharper. You try to keep your breathing even, slow, but the pressure builds inside you. The fear, the helplessness. There's nothing you can do. You have no weapons, no tools, no way to defend yourself except the knowledge that these people, these strangers, might not know who you are. Perhaps that gives you some small sliver of hope. The voices stop again. The footsteps pause, and then, through the dense foliage, you see them. 2 figures emerge, their forms barely visible in the half-light. They move cautiously, glancing around, scanning the area. The drums continue in the background, but they're less of a focus now. The people are here. They've arrived. You stay perfectly still, your breath shallow, praying that they won't spot you. In the undergrowth, one of them, the taller figure, seems to peer right in your direction. For a brief moment, you think they've seen you, but the figure turns, gesturing to the other person. A silent exchange, a nod, and they continue on their way, not noticing you at all. You don't exhale until they're well beyond your position, their footsteps gradually fading into the distance. You remain where you are for a long time, too scared to move, too scared to breathe, until the sound of the jungle returns to its natural rhythm. The drums slow, then fade altogether. It takes you several minutes before you feel safe enough to stand. You rise carefully, stiff from staying crouched for so long. You're shaking, your body still on edge, your heart pounding with adrenaline. You take a few slow, careful steps back toward your fire, your mind still racing from the encounter. The area around the fire is empty now. No one is watching, but you know they could return. They might come back for another sweep, or worse, they might be waiting, watching from a distance. You know that if they come again, they'll be better prepared. They'll be expecting something, expecting you, and you won't be ready. Not yet. You stand in front of the fire, staring at the flickering flames, feeling the heat wash over your skin. It's not a comforting warmth anymore, not like it used to be. Now, it's just a reminder that you're alone, exposed, vulnerable. There's no telling what they'll do if they find you. But there's one thing you're sure of. They won't let you go. Not now. The air is still heavy with the remnants of fear, like a fog you can't shake off. The encounter, the close call, lingers in your mind, replaying over and over in flashes. You can't erase the memory of their figures emerging from the jungle, their quiet steps, the unknown weight of their presence. You feel the sting of the missed opportunity. If only you had moved sooner, or hidden deeper, or made the right choice. It's too late now. The uncertainty of your position hangs over you like a storm cloud, and no matter how much you try to steady your breath, the tension won't leave your body. The fire crackles softly, its glow casting fleeting shadows against the trees. You stare at the flames, trying to find solace in the heat, but it only makes you feel more exposed. The night is still young, but the jungle has already turned on its axis, shifting into something darker, more dangerous. You can feel it in the air, the deep, unspoken threat that exists beyond the edge of the firelight. You're not alone anymore. There's no pretending otherwise. The uncertainty gnaws at you as you shift uncomfortably near the fire. You wonder if those strangers are still out there, watching, waiting for any sign of movement. You glance nervously over your shoulder, but the jungle remains quiet. It's as if it's holding its breath with you, listening to every sound, every shift of the leaves. You could be anywhere, in any part of this island, and still feel like the walls are closing in around you. But despite the fear, something inside you tells you that you've survived so far. By adapting, you've managed to carve out a space for yourself here. The island has tried to kill you many times, but you're still here, and so, in some strange way, you feel emboldened by your own persistence. You remind yourself that they don't know everything. They don't know the depths of this island the way you do. Not yet. You've mapped out parts of it in your own way. You've learned how to live off what it provides, even if that knowledge feels like it's teetering on the edge of survival. This island is yours as much as it is theirs, even if that truth doesn't feel like it. Most days, the drum beats are gone now, replaced by the sounds of the jungle, settling into the quiet of the night. The crickets resume their chorus, the occasional rustle of an animal moving through the underbrush. You focus on these small details, clinging to them as if they are the only things left that make sense. It's then that you hear it again, a faint sound, almost imperceptible at first, like the rustle of something in the leaves. You freeze. Every nerve in your body locks into place. Your heartbeat thudding loudly in your chest. You hold your breath, straining to hear more. It's the wind, you tell yourself. It's just the wind. But even as the thought crosses your mind, you know it's not true. The wind doesn't move like that. It doesn't make the leaves stir so precisely, so deliberately. No, this sound isn't the wind. It's something else. Another rustle, closer this time. You slowly begin to move, your hand reaching for the small knife in your belt, your fingers brushing against the rough leather. The sound is so close now. It's almost as if they're right behind you, but you don't dare turn around. Not yet. You need to know where they are, how close they are, before you make any sudden movements. Another movement, a soft shuffle through the leaves, then the unmistakable crunch of a twig underfoot. You grip the knife tightly, your muscles tense and ready. You can't afford to hesitate. Not this time. Not when it feels like the shadows themselves are closing in. The jungle is quiet again. Too quiet. Your heart races, and you start to feel the prickle of sweat on your skin. The fire flickers weakly. Its warmth, a fleeting comfort. You can't rely on it for much longer. They know you're here. It's only a matter of time before they find you. But as you turn slowly, your knife in hand, you realize that there's no one there. No figures emerging from the trees. No shadows lurking just out of sight. The jungle is still. There's nothing but the wind whispering through the leaves. Nothing but the haunting sounds of the night settling around you. For a long moment, you stand frozen, eyes scanning the dark jungle for any sign of movement. There's nothing, no one, just the quiet hum of the island, alive and breathing in the darkness. You exhale, the tension releasing from your body like a drawn bowstring, snapping back into place. But the relief is fleeting, and your body remains coiled tight. ready for the next sound, the next threat. You can't let your guard down. Not now. Not when you're this close to the edge. The fire crackles again, louder now, the only thing standing between you and the overwhelming vastness of the night. You take one last look over your shoulder, then slowly turn back toward the heart of the jungle. There's no going back. You've crossed into something deeper now, whether you like it or not. The island has changed. The night feels heavier, the shadows darker. The edge of the firelight feels like the edge of the world. You can feel your heart slowing now, but the fear still hangs in the air. You know you've only just begun to scratch the surface of this island's secrets. There's more to uncover, more to survive, and you can only wonder what lies ahead. But for now, all you can do is sit in the darkness, listen to the jungle, and wait.